Hello everybody, good day to you guys and welcome back to the channel. Glad you guys are here. This is a first time visit with this particular vehicle. This is, I believe, a 2017 Cadillac ATS-V, similar to the CTS-V, but way more awesomer. Customer has something of a list of things for me to do and to check out. Naturally, they want a full inspection, check out all the fluids. Let's see, the interior cooler has bubbles. Possible kink in hose. I have to call him back about that. I'm not sure what that is. Customer states that it shakes at full throttle and then loses power. They would like me to install a flex fuel sensor. See instructions. So I believe this is the flex fuel sensor right here, and it has instructions. I've got to do a pin out. I guess we're doing a flex fuel conversion on this unit, but okay. And the exhaust actuator is not working on the left inner. Okay, so this is a very fancy car. It's got exhaust baffle actuators, flex fuel stuff, all kinds of cool things. Starting the engine. Dang, sounds good too. It's remarkably hot in here. Let me let some ventilation go down. And we're gonna go out for a test drive and check out the symptoms on this particular Cadillac at 41,935 miles. On the odometer. And I kind of think everything that I just said is wrong because this does not sound like a V. The Cadillac CTS-Vs came with an LS based V8, and this thing sounds like the 6-cylinder. It sounds like a 3.6 liter. I don't know, maybe it's got a supercharger or something, but yeah, that's definitely V6 action. I've been deceived by GM's V marketing. That's not fair. But according to the dash, it is a ZZ performance package. Little stickers coming off there. Oh, wait a minute, I see what they've done here. They give it the V badge because they took a normal 3.6 and they turned it into a turbocharged 3.6. That's what the dealio is. This unit's got a turbo. Nice. I like turbines. Okay, so let's nose it into the shop real fast and throw some air into that right front tire. The tire pressure monitoring warning system indicates a low tire pressure up on the right front. So let's go air that guy up, and then we're gonna take it out for a spin real quick. We're gonna see about some misfiring on full throttle. All right, let's get this thing out on some open road. We're in the middle of the test drive. I've given it a couple of full throttle pulls and haven't felt that misfire. But what I felt is this turbocharged 3.6 has some serious torque. Like it'll put your head back in the seat for sure. I like it. Let's get out on the big road over there. I'll show you guys. It's pretty gnarly. I hope it misfires and it does what they say it does. That way this is going to be a very easy path to diagnosis, but we will find out as soon as we get over there around that next red light. Left turn, let's ride. There's you might hear that crackly noise. The speakers in the back are making some kind of like a distortion noise. Even though the audio system's turned off, I still hear a crackle going over bumps. That's not one of the complaints, but I did hear it back there. I imagine there's some kind of loose audio connection somewhere. Anyway, let's get out of here. Yeah, this thing's kind of got some scoot to it. Check this out. Can you see it? I don't even want to stay in it. It's too fast. Like as soon as it downshifts and the turbo spools up, I want out of it. I don't like how fast this car is. It's not fun. It's very drivable. At low speeds, it's remarkably controllable, good throttle response, but full throttle is kind of scary. Let's try again. Here's our downshift. Whoa, man, no way. No thanks, I can't do it. I can't stay in this thing full throttle for too long. It's too much. Yeah, enough of that. We're gonna flip it around and get back to the shop. I'm gonna nose it in as usual. We're gonna break out the scan tool, search around for some codes. I'm gonna pop the hood and see what I've got to do about installing this flex fuel sensor, and then I guess I'll play it by ear based on what we find next. So let me flip this thing around, head back to the shop. I'll see you guys in a minute. Don't go anywhere. Attempt number 2 at full throttle. No, just no. That's too much. Be pulled over. Let's come around on this straightaway here. Watch this, guys. I put air in the tire and that sensor's still saying 20, by the way. That's annoying. Whatever. I felt it. That was a little weird. Wonder if it's got a boost leak. Yeah, that felt a little weird. It felt kind of jittery and jerky. But the throttle is also remarkably sensitive too, especially when it's under load and boost came up. So I'm wondering if what I was feeling was just fluctuations in my user input. If there's an issue though, I'm fairly confident that my scan tool is gonna give us some insight on that. So it didn't really feel like a misfire. It just felt less than solid, I could say. It just didn't feel like a solid power band. It felt like it was up and down and in and out. It's hard to describe, but it didn't feel that great. Despite the adrenaline of the horsepower kick that I just got out of this particular Cadillac. So anyway, back to the plan. We're going back to the shop. We'll break out the scan tool as per my normal procedures, and we will decide what to do at that point.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, so we're gonna need the flex fuel sensor. Let's grab that guy. There's some instructions in there to read, so we need to get around to doing that. That's the GM honk for when you leave your key fob inside. Alrighty, let's come around to the front here and get into this bonnet. Let's see what we got to work with. Look at that guy. It's pretty fancy looking Cadillac stuff right there. Let's get some illuminators going. So this is what appears to be the normal 3.6 liter that you'll find in most Cadillacs, but it appears that GM has stuck a turbocharger on this unit. Let's get the engine cover off here. I'm in some uncharted territory. I'm not remarkably familiar with these guys. Got a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, okay, so that intake manifold is vastly different than what we normally see on the 3.6. That's a new one. This must be a performance component. This is a performance component. There's another one. We got two air filters on this unit. Looks like one that's running into the turbo over there. Is there two turbos? I think we're running twin turbos, guys. Can't see any other turbos, but it appears with two intakes, we've got two turbos. That's pretty awesome. So anyway, let's get back to the task at hand. We're kind of scouting right now. This is the flex fuel sensor that is supposed to be installed on this unit. This is an aftermarket device. I'm assuming that what we're doing here is we're installing this thing in line with the fuel line wherever it comes into the fuel rail, and we're gonna probably open up a connector somewhere, stick in this T-junction, and then it looks like this wire clearly has to be pinned out at the ECM somewhere. So we need to find the fuel line, disconnect it, plug this guy into said fuel line. See, it's got a little snap connector there for the male side of the the other end of the line there. That's part of the vehicle. So this is going to fit in line on the fuel system somewhere. Then we plug it in somewhere, and then we connect it to the ECM somewhere. And we'll have to read the instructions to figure out where that's at. That being said, I need to figure out where the fuel line is at also, because there's a whole lot of clutter going on here due to the twin turbine chargers, and that means space is rather limited. So we got the silver line right there. That is not the fuel line. That goes to the evap purge solenoid. See that little guy right there? That's the purge. Some other solenoids, and I have no idea what those do. I'm assuming those are DPFE or some kind of pressure differential sensors, because we do have two turbos here, so we need to balance those out. I'm assuming that these solenoid valves are operating off of these pressure sensors to somehow balance out the boost between the two. I have no idea what that is, and I have not read up on it. That's just a speculation of mine. Now, if we follow this evap line back behind this intake, see that little silver guy? Like right, hang on, I got an idea. I'll use a laser beam. Yeah, right, that's a bright laser beam. Right back in there. That appears to be the fuel line. And I think it's connecting to the fuel rail behind the intake. That's not a lot of space to work with. I'll tell you guys what. I can probably remove, man, nothing. I mean, I can see the fitting back there, and I can see the fuel line, but there's no access to it. I've got to remove maybe the wiper cowl, but that won't work because this appears to be all steel. Oh, gonna need to strategize this one there, folks. Definitely need to strategize this. I wonder if that this wiper cowl right here is removable. I may be able to remove it to gain access to the back of the firewall there to install this little unit. Okay, alrighty, so we just got back from a test drive, so all that stuff back there is cramped and hot, and I don't want to burn myself, so let's stick with protocol. We're gonna hop back in real quick, and I'm gonna do a full system code scan on this vehicle just to see if it has any DTCs anywhere for engine performance. Let me see here. Where's our connector? There she is, right in front of us, staring at me in the face. Beautiful. Okay. Key on, engine off. It's gonna be 2, 1. Okay, scan tool is initializing. Satellites are linking up in outer space, establishing communication. 2017 Cadillac ATS 3.6 liter. That's the LF4 RPO designation. 41,939 miles. Let's get into this guy. We're gonna turn off climate control to save the battery. And we're gonna do a code scan of all systems. Pre-scan, have not made any repairs. So this guy's gonna run through, check for all the DTCs, and I'm gonna come out and continue to try to strategize on how to get that sensor installed. Okie dokes, I've reached a decision. I'm going to attempt to pull the wiper cowl out of this. I'm hopeful that it's similar to the Toyotas, where the base of the plastic cowl is also removable, and it just bolts to the firewall. If it bolts on, we're in great shape because I'll just unbolt everything and take it apart. And if it does not bolt on and the metal piece down here is part of the structure of the car, then I'm SOL and I've taken all this stuff off for no reason, at which point I'll have to start pulling the intake apart, which I don't really want to do because that's a lot of intake to pull apart. But we're gonna find out, I guess, right? So I got a few of the plastic clips out. Let's get the hood closed real fast, because I'll need to remove the actual wiper arms from the transmission under the cowl to get the top layer of the cowl removed. So in order to do that, we're gonna bring the hood down and come around to these arms, which that one's I can't get to. Someone's been in here before. I see some scratch marks on the wiper arm right there. Okay. Pocket screwdriver for the win here. Not broken, we're good. Set that down right there. So we've got a 15 mil nut, and then there's another under there. Here, we'll come in here with a 15 wobble. That way I can clear the paint right there on the hood and not scratch it. That would be unfortunate. There we go. Give that guy a wiggle. It should unspline quite easily. Sometimes they come off no problem, and sometimes you've got to use like a battery terminal puller to pry these guys off of here. So, set that guy aside up here on the shelf where it's safe. Stay. And we'll get that driver's side. So hood back up. Release. There she is. So this little guy back here. Ho ho! Come here, you. That one went flying fairly aggressively. Didn't see that coming. Get in there with that guy. unclick. The washer's missing. All right, no, it's not. No, it's not. I see it. It's just rusted on or whatever. Let's take this guy, set it next to its friend over here. Good. Okay, I believe got all the pins and everything out of this. So we'll pull it back. Same thing on this side. There she comes. Okay, so I believe here, kind of based on what we're all looking like, that I can get this metal shrouding out. So that's what we need. In order to get that out, we've got to pull the transmission for the wiper assembly and remove this guy. So we've got one connector and a series of 10mm fasteners, again with the wobbly bits. And I think there's a couple here on this side. I know this bolt down here has to go. One up upper left right here. Okay. Some down at the bottom. See the studs? Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Let's get this guy, since we already got its counterpart on the other side. Don't you fall! No! There. It didn't fall. Good. And I need an extension for the remainder, I think. Okay, so there's some plastics here that look like they need to go away. A couple other fasteners down a little low. You guys can't really see just yet, but we're digging her out. Yeah, there's one little scoop deflector thing. There's a bolt. There's another one, or a nut rather. Okay, and then scooching on over to the left, we've got some more plastics. So let me dig this thing out. There's probably more bolts below it. Yeah, there's a nut right over here in the back. Gravity. She is way back here. It's hot in here, boys, by the way. It's real hot. I can't like it. There's a nut. Whew. Let's see, there's another one over here. I can see it. Glad I've got this extension. This would be hard to do with a hand tool. Okay.
Well done! Well done!
Is this thing loose yet? Kinda, not really. Pry bar action. I think it's loose. Yeah, it looks like it's loose. Okay. So I'm still a little stuck on this because nothing's kind of moving, but I was tinkering around with this some more and I found out why I couldn't pull it straight out. It's because it doesn't go straight out, it slides that way. Yeah. Error. Figured that out though. Let's see here. Okay, it's kind of free on this side. What's hanging us up over here? Any more fasteners or just stuck? Yeah, it's just a little stuck. We got her, it's coming out. So, looking over here, there's a harness to contend with. See this wire coming through? I need to disconnect this from its little mount bracket business there, the little clip, and we'll feed it through the hole in the firewall. We have here this pass-through grommet. Push that guy in. And then there's a couple brackets for the harness here on the outside. Let's pull those little guys out. Or they're not really brackets, they're just clips. There. Okay. So the harness has achieved freedom. I believe. I think I got her. It's loosey-goosey, free and clear. Let's back up here and try to maneuver this out. Tight squeeze, man. Here we go. Got it. Okay, so now, here's what we're looking for. That's what I needed to get to. This little connector here, this fuel line here. So we need to take that other new device, disconnect that at this point, and then put that device in line right here in this area. That's what we need to do. Once we do that, we have to take the wire, run the wire over here to the ECM, pull the ECM, locate the correct pin, and then pin that little white wire into it. There is programming involved as per the website for this specific mod. So the vehicle will not be capable of E85 or flex fuel operations without that specific program sequence having been tuned into the ECM. And I'm not gonna do that here. I don't do tuning. Nope, not me. Okie dokes. So let us figure out how to get this little clip off of here. Coming in with the trim tool on the back. That's a kind of a tight one. Keep that guy. Now we're gonna spray some fuel here. So let me get a towel to put down over this so when I release the pressure in this connector, I don't get sprayed. Let's see if my tool's gonna fit. Wow, that's kind of tight. Let's try another one. So this is the tool that came with the little kit thing that might fit easier. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It's still hot too. I'm getting little mini burns on my flanges. Yeah, that's not gonna fit in there. I need the other one, the metal one. Yeah, this one really should be fitting. I'm not sure why this fuel line wants to be stubborn like that. What you've got to do is push the line in and then wiggle the tool in so it can engage the there's little tabs inside of that collar. It's that little flared bell right there. There's little tabs inside of that, and that little tool presses into those guys and releases them. There we go. Put a towel here to arrest the spray if there is any. And we're good. See that? Okay, we got her apart. So now that that's been disconnected, we're gonna go back to this section of this little sensor here. You will see it's got what looks to be rubber, but that's actually like a kind of a hardened steel line or something. We can see the tabs inside that engage the little lip on the other side of the fuel line right over here. See that? So this, let's get this organized right. This guy will snap into the line like so. I get snapped. I didn't hear the click. Yeah, it's not snapped. There we go. Now I've got to figure out how to orient this thing. Like, how does it fit? That's weird, but okay. Probably shouldn't have snapped that on just yet. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take this off again just to see if there's a better way to place this this sensing element thing. I don't like how that has ended up so far. I mean, it can't really go anywhere else. This is how it fits. Yeah, take that off again. I don't like how this doesn't fit how I think it should. So If I put that guy there, yeah, I don't get this thing. This is, we have a fitment deal here. Something is not really jiving that well. Try to move the fuel line around real quick. Okay, so I've brought the fuel line around to this side here, and I'm wondering if I can hook it up like so, and then stick that guy onto the line there and then connect the plug here. But I don't think that's gonna work because I've got the cowl assembly here. So that's kind of like that's a no-go. What do I do? Okay, I got a solution here. I think this is the orientation. So if we take the fuel line and tuck it under this evap line like so, we can plug into that, leaving room for the actual connector, right? And then we stick that thing down under that evap line and put it at a slight angle. We can get the other side over the fuel rail line, which leaves me nanometers of space to fit the connector in right here. Fit the connector for the wires in there. And I know you guys can't see very well, but we're gonna try to go with this one, okay? That's sort of the plan. It might fit. It's gonna fit. I'm gonna come in here with the connector that goes to the sensor, and we're gonna route that, tuck it in nice like. Plug that guy back in. We should hear the snap. There she is. And sliding the line, or the fitting over the fuel line. I think with that mock-up in this configuration, this is gonna work. So yep, there's our harness coming out. That guy fits there, and there's still clearance here to fit the wiper cowl. So we're gonna snap it all in, okay? Here's moment of truth time. That's snapped on, and the actual fuel line, that's not snapping now. I can't get it. Push, get on there. Oh no, it's hot. Here, what I need is to apply the appropriate force in the right direction. There we go. So we're snapped on. The fuel line is free and clear and routed correctly, protected. This little guy is in its home and it's not snagging up on anything. The wire is connected to it, so we can route this wire down under here, zip tie it on so it's secure. Let's refer to the directions real quick, and we'll see where we need to plug this thing in. And then of course we've got to go over here to the ECM under all this business and plug the ECM in. Okay, so my instructions, here we go. With the car off, well-ventilated area. We've been through this part already. Disconnect everything, clip the flex fuel female in under the fuel rail, we did that. Hook up the factory fuel line to the sensor, we did that. Audible clicks, we heard those. Retainer clips, not reused, got it. Unplug the nearest ignition coil connector and plug the supplied jumper harness in line. Okay, so we need to use an ignition coil connector. I guess it's stealing the 5-volt reference or something from the ignition coil. The nearest coil connector is going to be that little guy right down there. Shoo. Just come in here and kind of weasel that thing to its disconnected position. Get in there. Uh-oh, give me that. I don't want to lose you in there. That's my favorite. Okay, that's a coil connector. That means this one will be its counterpart into the coil. Plug that in. And then we jump into it at the actual coil connector, which is right here. Snap that on, good. So all that is left is we're gonna take this little white lead wire, route that, and again connect it. Okay. Got some little side cuts here. We'll cut off A little zip tie. So this thing, it can go along here. So what I'll do is I'll zip tie this whole section of harness right here. That'll make it nice and secure like. Snip that guy off. Okay, so that's what we're looking for to wire this right. I need to find some convolute to wrap around this. I don't like just bare wires dangling around willy-nilly like. Hey, what are you doing?
I am helping.
I got in so much trouble because this guy was yelling at me because you came outside in the shop yesterday with no training and you didn't look too sure of yourself and you pushed the button on the lift to make it move as I talked you through it. Remember that?
I am trained.
I got in so... Get out of here. You mean I was teaching you like in the field? Okay, well I also got in trouble because you're not wearing like armored boots on and you're having shorts, and if a meteor comes and hits the shop and sets the world on fire, insurance might not cover you. I just want you to know that I got nasty scolded the other day, and I think you're responsible.
I'll just stay out of the heat.
So because of that, I need you to go on Facebook and sell more coffee for penance. That's what I require. Go sell some coffee. We need some nut.
We have coffee. We have two types of coffee: common sense and manic
morning or manic Monday, whatever. It's good coffee.
Morning.
Well,
I like the manic morning a little bit better.
Coffee.
Flavor to it. But yes, I've tried both of them and they're fantastic. And I suggest that you go and check it out on ringringracingparents.com.
Tell Tom though that you're sorry for wearing flip-flops in the store.
Tom, I'm sorry.
Awesome. Okay, so now that we got all that good stuff out of the way, no one's gonna sue me. I'm gonna try to find some wire convolute to protect that singular little wire in my horribly disorganized atmosphere that's unsafe. There's some. Yeah, we'll use this piece right here. So yeah, we'll protect this wire with some wire loom, and then we'll get the wiper cowl back on. Yay. You know, you guys say don't troll the trolls, but what the trolls don't realize is I'm a better troll than they ever will be, because you can't hurt my feelings. Like, it can't be done. And I realize a lot of those, a lot of comments that I reply to that are troll-ish, I do realize that people have good intentions and they're not being like combative or mean or anything. And if I reply in such a sarcastic way where you feel that I've been mean to you, I don't do it on purpose, just to let you know. It's just my natural, stunning and sparkling personality shining when an opportunity presents itself. At least that's my official response to the topic. So in short, I like trolling the trolls because they've earned it and they deserve it. And half the time I don't even think they realize they're being counter trolled, but I enjoy it. So again, they need to hear that, you know, not everything that you say on the internet can be done with immunity and impunity. There's consequences. But on a lighter note, seriously, it kind of is all in good fun, whether people are mean and serious or not. Kind of like that guy that said he was going to call CPS on me because I have my kids here sometimes. Yeah, good luck with that. They have to be responded to. Otherwise, these people just run around and they're running amok unchecked in society, causing major problems. And we have to reverse that trend, because I believe it's my civic duty to do such things.
You better check yourself or you wreck yourself, because I'm bad for your health.
I guess they say those that have the ability have the responsibility, and if I got the ability to make somebody shut up because they have no idea what they're talking about, then I will take that as my responsibility to accept that mission. Plus, I think it's funny, so that's why I do it. So anyway, got my wire here, some convolute. I may need to add an extension to it, or perhaps even shorten this wire lead. but we have this routed here to where it's supposed to be, so I'm gonna tuck this away, sort of, for the time being. Just stay here. And we're gonna get the wiper cowl back in position. Okay, the metal wiper cowl assembly is coming back and getting dropped down into its original position. Sneak it in there, give it a twist, lower her down, line up the studs. In, good to go. All right, let's grab all the nuts and bolts and tools that I'm dropping. We'll get all these fasteners restarted in their position, tighten everything down, and then drop the wiper motor / transmission back into its home position here. Let's get these wire connectors back in their positions here on the firewall. Run the connector through. And we'll push the grommet back through. Let's see, this little guy got plugged in. I'm missing one right there. And this one over that stud right there. Gorgeous. Okay. Okay, transmission is next. Minding that little grommet and the little groove on the other side. Let's sneak this unit down back into its home position here. I'm utilizing caution due to the close proximity of the glazing. Glazing referring to glass. Glass breaks when you hit it with metal, and that would be bad. Okay. Okay. Front row. That one's round. This one is ovular. See that? So the ovular one goes in that grommet. And the circular one goes in this grommet. There, got that sorted out. We'll plug that in while we're here. Another bolt hole. It's this one.
Apple pie with dad. Ding by the done, ding by the done, ding by the done.
It's done. Sweet. We're close. Little plastic piece right here over the stud. A little more over here. Another plastic piece. Two plastic pieces. So these guys got those little hook things right there. Those are gonna slip onto this lip, slip to the lip, right here on the glass, and then here over the stud, like so. Another fastener right here. And that guy is good to go, with the exception of this little clip. That goes, it's gonna go right there. See that? All set. Okay, now for the fun part, we need to dig out this connector on the sheet, that guy right there. We're looking for pin 38 on the blue connector for the ECM, and I do believe the ECM again is underneath the fuse block. So let's get this business apart here. Now there's two pieces to this fuse block, I believe, and there are levers that secure this with pins around its shroud. I need a tool. It's right here. There's little tabs that secure these levers here. Then those levers are what anchors the fuse block down to its base. So we take them loose, slide those guys in, and then the whole deal is going to come up. And it looks like this battery attachment business is bolted onto it. I need to take that off. Oh no, there's stuff captured. What is this? Another 13, couple wires that used to go to something. Okay. I need a 10. There's another one. There she is. That's our fuse block. See all the pins on the back of it that connect the circuits to the connectors. We have to go farther still because the ECM is below all this. So we're taking out that 10, that 10, another one down here, multiple 10s. You guys can't see what I'm doing. Another one over here hiding out. I dropped it. I got it. Here it is. Pocket screwdriver for the win, I think. And there's one. You got, I just went back in. You've got to disconnect both of them at the same time. Let's try one that I know I can work with here. Let's try this one. Got that pin. No way, man. There. Okay. We're getting somewhere. I know they come out. So. Aha! There she is. Found an ECM. It's down there, but it's there. Pull these guys off to the side. So the directions tell me I'm looking for the blue connector. So let's start disconnecting connectors until we find the one that is blue in color. And that's going to be our winner. Oh, there it is. There's the blue one. Let's pull off one more and make sure they're not all blue. Aftermarket instructions are not always accurate. And that next connector is black. We're fine. That means the next one after that is going to be gray. So this is our connector in question right here. Get you guys in a little closer. There's the ECM module, 3 connectors running to it. There's the blue one, so we need to find the correct pin on this guy right here and then pin in that single white lead wire that comes from the sensor back on the fuel rail. So in order to get inside of this connector, we've got to cut the zip tie off right here that hangs onto it. That is of a minimal consequence because I can put a new zip tie back on. So we're good there. Now we need to dissect said connector and get access to the back side of it. Pop off, please. Okay, she's apart. This is where we insert the pins, and we're going to be looking for pin number 38. So let's take a look here. That's 73, the big one. And number 1 is upper left, so 38. We've got 1, 17, 33. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. This right here should be pin 38. 53, yeah, okay. Alrighty, so I've got a little set of pin remover keys here, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna find 38 again, so 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. This is the square cut GM size one. We're gonna push that guy in, and there should be a little block off pin inside right there. I just need to back it out and push that thing out of there. I felt it go, and I felt it hit my finger, and I lost it, but it's out. So the hole is now clear for the wire to be inserted into the pin. But I need to finish up this wire loom first. That way this wire stays protected. So what I'll do is I'll wrap it right here where it's closed off, or where it's at the end rather, where it's closed. So I'm gonna close it off here at the end where it's open. I'll take one more piece of loom, protect the rest of this circuit. There we go. Now at the end here, I'll slide one piece over the other piece and then tape that as well. Nice. Okay, that's good. So now at the end here, let's go ahead and chop off the excess. Come on now. Beautiful. We will take that wire and we're going to relocate 38 again. There's 38. There's 38. I see the hole. We're going to push that pin into the connector. And it should snap. You should hear an audible snap when it clicks into place. Now we'll take the little key again and just use that to send it the rest of the way home. Can't get enough force on it with just the wire to make it snap in, so I'm just going to reach around behind the wire and push it in here with the little key. Without poking holes in the wires, of course. You don't want to do that. She's in. Give it a tug. That's nice and seated. So now you take this wire, fold it back, re-zip tie it, tape this end of it up, and then put the plastic back on, then we can reassemble. Okay, so let's get this this wire here a little bit extra secured before we put the zip tie around it. So I'm gonna stick some tape in where the current tape is placed on the harness. I know these angles are a little weird, folks. I apologize for the obtuse camera angles. I'm gonna continue this tape all the way into this piece of wire loom right here. That way it looks good, or kind of good, or maybe you won't notice it, but it'll secure the wire better. That's good there. Break the tape off. We'll take the other half of the connector, cover up all our wires, snap that guy in, which I should not have done because I need the zip tie. My head had me zip tying both sides of this, and it does not require 2 zip ties. Redo. Love my job so much, I'll do it twice. There's the zip tie. Zip ties and bias plies. Did you guys ever watch that guy? He's Canadian. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. It's mayhem on his channel. Zip ties and bias plies. First time I saw that guy, I'm like, what is this dude doing? All he's doing is just like revving this engine to the moon until it dies.
That was the whole can.
But it was absolutely flipping hilarious. Anyway, that guy's put back together. We're gonna snap her back into the ECM, click that on, take our little red safety tab, or security tab rather, lock the connector in, and we do have a little bit of extra wire here. See that right there? So what I'll do, I'm gonna double this over, and I'm gonna make it follow itself back, and I'll just tuck it all in behind this coolant reservoir right here. That way it's nice and out of the way and it looks good. Can't get caught on stuff. There we go. Beautiful. I like it. Swing our tray back in. We sure didn't leave a lot of room in this engine compartment, fellas. But hey, at least I went back in and disconnected it. Some folks might just ignore it and pretend it didn't exist. Snap that in. Snap that one in. Good, good, good. Everybody's good. Beautiful. Shoe. What to do next here? Hang on. Let's get this guy in place. So we have to open these back up in order to get everything lined up. Now, when we install this, we must make sure that it feels like it's fitting smoothly into those connector pins. If any of those things are misaligned, those connectors, it'll jam the pins on the bottom of this fuse block and bend them, and that'll ruin the fuse box. That would be very bad. We don't want to do that. So we've got the 2 13s for these posts here, and then one more 10 mil nut to secure this fuse block, or the main fuse block, to the firewall. Very nice. Now there's some dirt in there, a little bit of sand. Blow that out. Okay, I think we're ready to rock and roll here. Let's put the lid back on. Wash my sweat off. Okay. One more lid over here on the left. The jump box post. Wiggle it till it goes in.
That is the way.
Snap, crackle, pop. Tab, tab, tab. Good to go. Okay, you guys wait here, keep an eye on that engine. I'm gonna go back inside, fire it back up, and we're gonna make sure everything's working as designed. We'll recheck for codes, and then this one will be good to go. Beginning engine stocking sequence now. All right, back inside the cabin here. I've got the scan tool out one more time. We're going to reinitiate that DTC code scan, make sure the ECM is not upset with what we just did here, which I don't believe it will be. Still has that brake booster code, but I think we're good to go. I understand, like I said earlier, some programming needs to happen in order for that sensor to actually be utilized. I do not know if this vehicle has already had that program installed or not, but I do understand that once that programming sequence is initiated and the sensor's functioning, this vehicle will be able to run on E85 or any different ethanol blended amounts. The point of that sensor is to detect the amount of alcohol in the fuel, so the ECM knows how to adjust injector, pulse, and ignition timing to be able to utilize the alcohol fuel. And for the folks that do not know, straight E85 or 100% ethanol, well, E85 is 85%, but the higher levels of ethanol content can actually contribute to a lower probability of pre-detonation within the cylinders of the engine. In lay terms, that's spark knock or pinging, so to speak. And in a boosted application such as this Cadillac, in the right conditions, the engine could basically self-detonate with the wrong kind of fuel. So we need to know what kind of ethanol content is in the fuel in order to prevent catastrophic internal engine damage. So guys, scan tool's running through. I'm not going to come up with any DTCs. I think we are all good to go on this segment of this installation. Let me know what you think about this Cadillac, this procedure, and my craftsmanship and quality of work in the comments section down below. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button while you're down there. And most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video in a Cadillac CTS-V with a 3.6 liter twin turbo and ethanol fuel sensor installation video in a transmission.